I read this whole article, to the brim, and I was about to reread it, but then I got to the last sentence, or I got to the last quote that they told me. Pretty much, this article is talking about the Wii U's memory bandwidth, and it could mean that the Wii U or the GPU itself is more powerful than developers has thought. We have confirmation that it can't use everything like DirectX 11, but it has DirectX equivalent features, which is a reason why they can't get Final Fantasy 15 over here, or Kingdom Hearts 3, either of those two. They can't get it on the Wii U. But this last quote, it actually explains a lot, and I'll put it up on screen as well. A software engineer by the name of Francisco Javier Agushi Dominguez, I still don't know how I pronounce that, has actually made this quote. Like I said, I'll have it up on screen right about now. I am sure that you have heard rumors about the E6760 being the base of the Wii U. Just to tell you, it has performance of 16.5 gigaflops per watt, so if the Wii U's GPU has a similar efficiency, then if then if at last we consider 10 watts out of those 18.33 watts, or maybe more, we would just be speaking about 165 gigaflops that many games waste due to being quick ports. Which in other words means that's 165 gigaflops that developers don't use because they're just simply quick porting the game. Wow. I always thought there was something fishy because I was like, there's gotta be something wrong if the PS3 and Xbox 360 can run Assassin's Creed at a flat 30 FPS and the Wii U's only getting it at like 20. I always thought there was a problem, and it was just lazy development because EA got their games running fine. And it seems like now we actually have proof. And I don't know if I've always had this feeling that this was the case, but I don't know if I'm more mad or happy. The reason why of course you can see why I'd be happy, because that means that we can be getting some better ports in the future, but the reason why I would be mad is that it just goes to show you how lazy developers are. And I kind of feel like the Wii U launch in a case was kind of screwed over, because all the games that it got launched with were available on other platforms when they launched on the Wii U. So when we got Need for Speed on the Wii U, it had been out on the 360 and PS3. When we got Ninja Gaiden, it had already been out on the PS3 and 360. Mass Effect 3, PS3 360. List goes on and on. But because these developers got so lazy, they just said, let's do a quick port. Who cares about the frame rate? We'll just slightly up the graphics. Exception Ninja Gaiden 3. Ninja Gaiden 3, for the most part, runs at a solid 60 FPS. There are some problems here and there, but you get the point. It's just that developers got lazy. EA, Ubisoft, I'm looking at my list right now. Or, no, EA wasn't that lazy. I meant, Ubisoft. Ubisoft's pretty much the one in particular that I'm trying to hint at. So in other words, like I said, this pretty much just means that the Wii U is more powerful than we thought, and these gigaflops could actually help performance. Which means that games like Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft that were running at like 25, 22, lowest I saw it get was like 16 FPS, they could be hitting a solid 30 as long as the developers would just start tapping into the hardware's potential. Which is why games like Wind Waker HD, Mario 3D World, they for the most part, I think they all run at 60 FPS. Now, I've heard that, Wind Waker HD is 60 FPS, but I have the game, I can't tell. I guess maybe it's because of the bloom effect. Bayonetta 2 is 60 FPS. I'm going to assume Monolith Soft's is 60 FPS. If it's not, I'm not going to be worried. I'm going to be kind of disappointed, but I won't be that mad. And that's only because it's a big game, and there's a lot going on. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, I already said Bayonetta 2, Donkey Kong, 3D World. So, yeah, Tekken runs at 60 FPS, Ninja Gaiden runs at 60 FPS. It's just the games that tap into the potential, and there are a bunch of indie games like what do you call it, chain ends. I'm going to take a guess Fast Racing League is running at 60 FPS too. But like I said, there are a bunch of games that just tap into the potential, and then there's the developers that get lazy and don't want to do anything with the potential that it has. Which is why I've always had this bad problem with developers, because I can't stand their attitudes on how they're lazy, so they want to blame it on Nintendo. I just don't get it, because Nintendo, yes, they do a lot of things wrong, but in this case, it's like, it's just blaming Nintendo as like a scapegoat. It's like that one kid at school. We'll say like Nintendo's like the one kid at school that when something happens, they blame Nintendo for it. Like he takes all the blame. Everybody blames everything on him. That's what developers kind of remind me of when they talk about Nintendo. And it just goes to show that developers are just lazy. And they give up faith easily. They give up faith in a console easily without knowing what the end result can be. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, comment. Article will be in the description. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.
Your end has come!